Hello, I'm Tiana Lawrence, the Program Associate at the Malking Institute. What follows is an interview with Sue Kirby, the president of the Morency Tenants Organization in Salem. Sue starts out with a little tour of her building and then talks about how her tenant group has accomplished some successes.
Yeah, so we're waiting for the elevator here at Morency on the 5th floor where I live. And it actually comes now. There was a time when we first started organizing, or when we first started getting the tenants organization together. This was one of our main complaining. One of the things that we put on our list at the very beginning was new washing machines. Here they are. They came in about 6 months ago. It says Morency Tenants Organization, coming soon, and then coming soon is crossed out, and it says here now. So we had a meeting, like I said, in July. We started that meeting. We after that, we continued to have coffees every week, every Friday or every other Friday. With this, we would have this big thing to write on, and when somebody had an idea, it would go up there. And it turned into, we also went through the process of like talking about, well, if we're going to have a real organization or one that's legal, we're going to need to have an election, and we have to have bylaws, and we have to have people who will be aboard for this. And that, that's an interesting process in and of itself, because a lot of people want to see this happen, but they don't necessarily want to be on a board and be on the spot. So we took quite a bit of time with that. And as we were like gearing up to the election being in December, in the fall, we started like really talking to people. We started putting we put a little team together to put the bylaws together about how people would run and what they had to do, and how various ways that we would need to run. But at the same time, we kept talking about the issues. So we had our election over two different days, Friday and a Saturday in December, right before Christmas. And one of the things that what I had done is I put together all the things. I'm going to move this here. All the things that people had said. What it is it's a big piece of art paper. It's about 3 feet high, and it's probably about 5 or 6 feet long. It's all of the things that people said that they wanted. Repair this. This is this year's. So we moved on from there. You can take these off and move on once you have them. But like fire safety, automatic closure of the stairwell doors, repair the sidewalk in the front, 2-inch bump that stops wheelchairs, bulletin board in the tenants lobby. Tubs are too high, replace with showers or walk-in tubs. That's a big one that a lot of people want, that is very, very expensive. And we're just going to have to keep plugging away at that. So then at that meeting that we had, after we had the election, the very first meeting, we gave everybody one of these little orange, 3 of these little orange rectangles here, and they could put it up on anything that what they thought was the most important. So that way we were able better to gauge like what was really important to people, especially the people who came out and were willing to be involved. So then from there, so we went into 2020 and we went into COVID. We at the end of this last year, after starting out with this list of things, this is another list we had at our annual sort of celebration of the Tenants Association. We put this up in English and Spanish, issues that were addressed in 2020, and you can see the parking issue resolved, window coverings in the community room, front automatic door was installed, cement walkway in front of patio is repaired. Carpets are all being shampooed, and it goes sort of down to the floor. And it's all, and this time we got it in the English and the Spanish. So we've got one, as a matter of fact, we've got one going for 2001 that's just started. It's halfway it's halfway as long as the other one, and we're halfway through the year, so maybe, who knows, maybe. Maybe.
Timing.
But I just know from my organizing experience, it's really important to talk about what you've won. People think, oh, well, they're not doing anything. Oh, well, they never listen to us. So we don't, you start putting it in black and white and show people, oh, no, that's not true. And it really makes a big difference. I think just in general, if there's any kind of a social life within a building, you can, and you sit around and you're talking about stuff, invariably things that aren't going right, or problems that you're having come up. And that I think it's the starting point of, you have relationships with people, other people have relationships with other people, and everybody is annoyed when the elevator is broken, so you have conversations at the elevator, like what, and I think there's a common mistake of like thinking that, one of the things that I see is a common mistake is thinking that, well, we can't go to them unless we have a solution. I mean, I don't know how to fix the elevator. I don't know why it's broken all the time, and I'm going to go accuse them of what, so part of it is just to get people to believe and see that, it's their responsibility, not ours, to have the elevator run. It's the housing authority's responsibility to keep the elevator running, and we don't have to know how to fix it. We just need to remind them or let them know and show them the consequences of not having an elevator with a bunch of people who look like us, look and act like us. I mean, we're in wheelchairs, we're in, the little RoboCop things, we're in, we're using walkers, and your job is to keep the elevator going. You lose that connection, between the people that you're actually serving, and the elevator is a perfect example of that. If you don't imagine, you don't know how important that elevator is to somebody on the 4th floor who can't walk up and down the stairs, and that just comes out of actually meeting those people and being around and seeing, and the substitute is we remind them every month, and I mean, we had a situation where somebody got a horrible letter about how, they're not being evicted, but actually the tone of the whole thing is like, watch out, you're going to get evicted. And she had paid her rent 2 weeks early, and she just never gotten anything like that before. And she was so upset. And so we did a series of things, but at the next Monday meeting, which was the next week, we said, hey, here's this letter saying this is not okay. At that point, she didn't really even know if they had gotten her check, and they had messed it up, but that's another whole issue. But I remember they were defending, I mean, this thing was written by some horrible, mean kind of lawyer, I guess. I don't know. It was in big block letters about evictions and stuff. And it was 14 days overdue and in the middle of a pandemic, so they started to make excuses. And it was like, well, just legally we had to do this and yada, yada, yada. And I looked at him and I said, look, would you want a letter like that going out to your grandmother? And they both of them looked down at the table. You just gotta, you gotta remind them that, these are human beings, that they're not units. I mean, I think part of it is the bureaucracy. It creates a situation where there's units, there's, there's, I don't know, quotas, there's this and there's that, there's regs, there's PHNs, there's a whole alphabet soup full of things, but none of them are people, and so part of the things about having a tenants organization is just presenting them with real people,